Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful Akim out there, pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai has created us to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, and also you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line and your lineage goes back to you being a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, and Seminole Indian, one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Hey, Shalom. It's your brother Halak here from the GMS Denver camp, coming back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, with another lesson. And I want to get a few scriptures before we get into these videos I have queued up to play. So this is Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in them. And this is what we're watching transpire here on the earth, man. Especially between America and its allies. You see, the American Edomites with their European Edomites. This is what is being done. This is what it's all going to lead to. America's allies turning upon them and deceiving them, trading, or basically siding with the quote-unquote enemy. You see? And it's all going to lead up to what? It's going to lead up to America's allies coming up against them in World War III, which is fastly approaching. Let's get Jeremiah 50. Let me see. Jeremiah 50:12, it says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. And this is talking about the fate of America. You see, and the mother that is speaking of here is where America was spawned from, which is Great Britain, which is one of the allies of America. You see? And this could go into the rest of the EU as well. They are going to come up against this place, man. And we see them making moves. We see that the moves that the European Union is making is all leading up to what? To biblical prophecy being fulfilled. You see? And it's going to end up with America being destroyed by way of nuclear fire. We'll show you that as well. And matter of fact, Isaiah 9:5, it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. And that goes into the ancient battles, how they were fought. When you go into the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, those wars were fought with sword and shield, with manpower, on the front lines, on the battlefield. Having a battle arrayed, a trumpet would be blown, a war cry would be let out, and the armies would rush toward each other with sword and shield in hand. You see? With confused noise, war cries, and people screaming out in pain, and so forth and so on. You had to get up on your enemy, to slaughter them, causing what? Blood, your garment to be rolled in blood, right? That's how all the ancient battles were fought. But what does it say? Isaiah 9:5, it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. But this is how World War III is going to be fought. And World War III is fastly approaching. You see, World War III is going to be fought with nuclear missiles, and the allies of America are going to fire their missiles upon Babylon the Great. America, man. That's what this is all leading to. Let's get this real quick and we'll play these videos. Revelation 11:14 tells us what? The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, is putting all the pieces in place gradually, you see, for his prophecies to be fulfilled, for his will to be fulfilled. Because it's the Most High's determination that what? America be destroyed, to never be inhabited again, and for the land of Israel, that promised land that sits between the Nile River and the Euphrates, to also be hit with nuclear fire, to purify that land, you see, and make it ready for us Israelites to be returned back into it to fulfill the promise made unto our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to us, their descendants, the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? Let's get this real quick. So we have a short right here. Let's get it. See what it says? Ukraine's President Zelensky meets EU leaders to discuss ramping up defense spending for Ukraine. And we see what happened last week. We had Zelensky go to the White House, and it was a falling out between him and Donald Trump, because Trump is not he's not in the spirit to give them more money for defenses. He wants to end to that quote unquote Ukrainian war. That's what he wants. So he didn't provide any more funds to Ukraine. See, the administration before that, Joe Biden administration, they were all for it. Every time you look, billions here and billions there and billions here and billions there. You see? But the Most High has Trump not in that spirit. Why? Because the Most High is setting this thing up for his purpose to be fulfilled. He's causing America to be hated and alienated for one reason and for one reason only, and that's for this place to be destroyed when it's all said and done. So and this guy Zelensky, he's a 1948er. You see? He would be considered Jewish. He's an Amalekite. You see? He goes back to being of the least of the flock. Right along with those Israelis over there. They're the same people. You see they're meeting, right? So I have another video here, a 4-minute video.
Now, Trump has paused military aid to Ukraine. Europe and Ukraine are feeling alienated as Washington edges closer to Moscow. Trump had previously expressed his dislike for NATO. Now, European leaders are openly debating that they should have a European nuclear missile shield. Well, Macron now says he's open to provide.
And this whole thing with this NATO and Ukraine thing, and Russia is fully justified in taking the measures they're taking, because with NATO trying to make Ukraine, an ally, that's to be able to put nuclear weaponry in Ukraine. How does that look towards Russia, man? Russia is looking out for their nation's best interest by trying to stop, the forward progress of NATO and having them add Ukraine to their allies, because it's not beneficial for Russia. You see? That would be like fucking Russia putting nuclear warheads in Canada or in Cuba or in Hawaii or something like that. That would be right on America's front door. But this is what NATO is trying to do with Ukraine. They're trying to make Ukraine a part of NATO so they can put weaponry in Ukraine, and Russia is not going for it. So Russia is fully justified in defending themselves and taking the measures they're taking. You see?
French nukes for protecting Europe. Take a look. Stating that they should have a European nuclear missile shield. Well, Macron now says he's open to provide French nukes for protecting Europe. Take a look.
And can't you see what's going on? Why is there so much talk about nuclear weapons? You see? Why is there so much talk about ICBMs? It's all because it's the Most High's will. Let's get one more real quick. Let's get Isaiah 54 and 17. What does it say? Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. And that goes into those nuclear physicists. The people that the Most High has given the understanding of how to cultivate these weapons to. You see? He's given the understanding of their technology. Beginning with the atom bomb. You see, and that technology has evolved to the Most High's liking. Why? It says what? And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So it was the Most High's purpose for them to come into the understanding of having this technology, cultivating this technology, and perfecting it. For one reason and for one reason only, to bring forth these weapons of mass destruction. You see? And the target for the majority of these missiles on the earth is going to be here, Babylon the Great, America, to fulfill the Most High's will. You see? That's why you hear so much talk about these weapons, man. These things are going to fulfill the Most High's purpose in destroying the entirety of the land of America and also purging out the promised land to make it clean for the Israelites to return back into.
The world is on the edge as the war in Ukraine drags on and Russia grows more aggressive. The equations are changing rapidly. Europe finds itself at a watershed moment. For decades, the continent relied on Big Brother America for its security, but now that certainty is fading. Germany wants the UK and France to deploy a nuclear shield over Europe to deter a possible Russian strike amid fears NATO may no longer be able to count on US support. Now,
and the thing is this, like I said earlier, now they're trying to play the victim like Russia is you know, causing all these provocations. No, it's you fucking European nations, right along with NATO, who's causing Russia to take the actions they're taking. If you would back the fuck up and leave Ukraine to Russia as it was before, none of this would be going on. But now Russia is defending themselves and making sure that you are not coming in there to set up shop. Now they're the bad guys. But this is what these devils do, man. They'll poke and prod at you, and as soon as you retaliate, they play the victim. And that's what they're doing right now. Talking about they need a nuclear umbrella. You wouldn't need a nuclear umbrella if you went over here trying to put nuclear weapons on Russia's front porch. But once again, all this is happening because what? It's the Most High's will. The Most High is stirring up the war. The Most High is mustering the host of the battle. That's right. Let's get it. Isaiah 34 tells us what? No, it's not Isaiah 34, is it? No. Isaiah 13, yup. Isaiah 13 and 4 says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah of hosts, mustereth the host of the battle. So this is all the working of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. He's the one that's causing the tensions to rise between the nations. You see? It's all happening so the Most High can fulfill his purposes that he ordained from the beginning. This war was already ordained to come to pass before the earth was even created. And now we're in the midst of all of it transpiring, just like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah planned it to transpire. He planned it to come to pass this way. So that's why we see these nations making these crazy moves. Like, damn, well, if they just left Ukraine alone and gave it back to Russia as it was before, none of this would be going on. But it has to happen this way. It has to be this way. You see? It's all happening so prophecy, according to what the Most High, Yahweh, has spoken, can be fulfilled. Oh, we can get the 5th verse as well. It says what? They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So that's what it's all about. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is going to have these nations launch these weapons off from the ends of the earth to destroy the whole land of what? To destroy the entire land of America. You see?
This is saying the time has come to expand the French nuclear umbrella.
De la paix et de la sécurité en Europe.
In response to the historic appeal of the future German
Motherfucking Napoleon.
Chancellor, I have decided to open the strategic debate on the protection afforded by our deterrent to our allies on the European continent. Whatever happens, the decision has always been and will remain in the hands of the President of the Republic, head of the armed forces.
Chef des armées.
Moscow isn't taking the nuclear talks lightly and says discussions about extending France's nuclear deterrent to European partners are a threat.
This is a threat to Russia. If he considers us a threat, calls a meeting of the chiefs of general staff of European countries and Britain, says that it is necessary to use nuclear weapons, prepared to use nuclear weapons against Russia, this, of course, is a threat.
The question is, under what political and financial conditions will Paris and London be prepared to maintain or expand their own strategic capabilities for collective security? Britain and France are Europe's only nuclear powers. But even their collective power is a fraction of that employed by Russia. That has the world's largest and most varied collection of nuclear weapons, even larger Washington's vast stockpiles.
And that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence that Russia has the largest stockpile, the largest and most varied stockpile out of all nations on the planet. You see? It has been set up that way to fulfill the Most High's purpose in America being destroyed, man. None of these things are coincidences. Russia is a motherfucking powerhouse on the earth. And they're outgunning America in this department because what? It's the Most High's will for them to do so. You see? This is why they have what they have. And the thing is, these numbers right here is just what they tell you they have. Because if you understand the art of war, you're not going to disclose the entirety of what you have to your enemies. That's stupid. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had double or triple the amount of what we see on the screen here. The same thing could go for France and the UK. They could have double or triple the amount, but that still don't compare to what Russia really has, man. You see? So yeah, it's all to fulfill the purposes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And with Russia having so much muscle, it's going to cause the allies of America to turn upon them, to turn their back on America. Because it's going to come to the conclusion that there's nothing that we can do to defend ourselves from the power that Russia has. And we see the stance that Donald Trump is taking over here in the West of basically saying because NATO hasn't been paying their bills, they haven't been upholding their end of the bargain or paying their fair share, he's not in the spirit to defend them. So he's basically abandoning NATO and the EU. So how do you think the allies of America take to that? Well, shit, we just gonna side with Russia then if that's the case. And that's all according to biblical prophecy, man. You see?
NATO's nuclear deterrence relies massively on the US that has deployed several hundred warheads in countries across Europe, primarily at locations in Germany, Italy, Belgium, Turkey, and the Netherlands, to serve as a deterrent for the continent. If the US withdraws support from NATO, it is a cause for concern for European defense chiefs, who could see their nuclear capabilities completely diminished.
And this is what's going to cause, one of the many things is going to cause the what? The 10 horns to hate the whore, as we read in Revelation 17, man. So this thing is coming together perfectly as the Most High has foretold it would come to pass. From the beginning, before America was even a thought of the people on the earth, this was already determined to come to pass for this place. You see, before it was even brought into existence. You see? Showing you there is no free will. Only Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is in control. And this entire thing known as human history is playing out according to what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai wants. Nothing else. This is what it was always going to lead up to. The end of America is approaching quickly, man. Quickly. All according to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You see?
The UK has some 225 warheads at its disposal, all of which are carried on nuclear Vanguard submarines. But only 40 are ready to deploy at any one time. France has a slightly larger nuclear arsenal with 290 warheads, most of which are also submarine-based, in addition to around 50 cruise missiles that can be deployed by French bomber aircraft. Clearly, the world is entering a new dangerous phase, and diplomacy is the way forward to reduce the rising tensions. Bureau Report, we all won this one.
And the tensions are not going to die down because that's not the Most High's intent. The Most High's intent is for this thing to continue to ramp up until a full-fledged war breaks out on the planet Earth. And the result of that war is going to be what? America being destroyed by fire. And what we're focusing on today is that fire, some of that fire coming from the allies of America. You see? So this is Revelation 17:1. It says, "And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that great whore that sitteth upon many waters is Babylon the Great, America." You see? Verse 2 goes on to say, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." The kings of the earth have committed fornication by what? Having their fucking economy based on that US dollar, to the point to where if America falls or fails, all the economies of the earth fall and fail. They've been drunk with the wine of her fornication. You see? Pushing forth what? These wicked doctrines and agendas and philosophies. LGBTQ, democracy, feminism. You see? That's a part of the wine of her fornication. Verse 3 says what? "So he carried me away into the spirit, in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." The woman is talking about America. The scarlet-colored beast is talking about NATO. The 7 heads, once again, that goes into NATO. Into the different Edomite empires. And the 10 horns goes into the European Union. You see, the 7 heads goes into the 7 Edomite empires that have been erected on the earth, beginning with the Greeks, the Romans, the French, the British, the Spanish, Germania Major, and Germania Minor. You see, those are the 7 heads. The 10 horns, once again, that goes into the EU. The allies of America for now that we just watched that video on, right? Now, when we jump down here to verse 15 in Revelation 17, it tells us what? "And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." And we go through this all the time. Those waters represent the people. You see, here in the land of America, because America is the most diverse country on this planet Earth. More diverse than any other country on the planet. This also goes for how America has embassies set up all throughout the world. They have military bases all throughout the world. They have the largest navy the world has ever seen all throughout the planet. They have the most aircraft carriers on the planet. So it's basically patrolling the world. No other nation does that outside of America on the scale that America does it. You see? So this is many ways that the whore sits upon those many waters, which goes into the peoples, tongues, and the multitudes, right? Now it goes on to say in verse 16, and the 10 horns, which represent the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO, these shall hate the whore, which is America. And we see the stage being set for this prophecy to be fulfilled. We see the stance that the whore is taking against his allies, against the 10 horns, telling them, if you don't pay your share, we're out. We're no longer providing, we're no longer spending any more military funds on Ukraine. And here comes the EU to Ukraine's rescue. So it's tension, it's division. You see, all amongst the house of Esau right now. And it's going to lead up to what? The 10 horns hating the whore. Now, what are they going to do when that hate comes to the full? It says what? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. By way of what? By way of their nuclear weaponry. This goes back to what we read in Obadiah. The men of thy confederacy have deceived thee. That's what this is talking about right here in Revelation 17. The allies of America are going to turn upon this place. And they're going to be right there, along with Russia, firing nuclear warheads upon the land of America and upon the state of Israel. Well, let's say the promised land, because the entire promised land is going to be burned up. It's not just going to be the state of Israel, that small piece of land. It's going to be the entirety of the land. The entirety of the promised land is going to be burned up. You see, with that nuclear fire. Now it goes on to say, verse 17, for the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. You see that? This is all the Most High's will, and this is what we see the Most High gradually putting into place with these different moves that he's making in the midst of all these different heathen nations, man. Especially amongst America and its allies. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is putting it in their heart. He's controlling their minds by way of the angels, having them make these certain moves, which is going to lead up to full-on war breaking out between America and its allies and Russia. Revelation 17:17, one more time. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, NATO, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And we see NATO stepping up to the plate in their defense against the Europe, in their defense of the EU. Since America is basically taking a back seat and saying, basically, y'all got it. You don't want to pay your bill. You don't want to uphold your end of the bargain. Hey, you deal with that. And that's all according to biblical prophecy, man. Verse 18 goes on to say what? And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which is America, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now let's be honest. Is this talking about the Vatican? No. This is the only one that fits this description. The only one that fits this prophecy is America. America is the one that rules over the kings of the earth. You see? Until all the nations that have nuclear weaponry take sides and join power to completely and utterly destroy this place. As is laid out to come to pass, all according to biblical prophecy, all according to the Most High's will. You see? Let's get one more and then we'll wrap it up. This is Jeremiah. Go back to Jeremiah 50. Yup. We'll start here. Jeremiah 50 and 12. We just read this earlier, but we'll read down to verse 14. It says, your mother shall be so confounded, that's Great Britain, She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. The hindermost of the nations is talking about America. This is where the sun sets. You see? This is where the sun sets. This is the hindermost of the earth. Babylon the Great is going to become a what? A wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. By way of what? By way of that nuclear fire that's going to rain down upon this place. Verse 13 says what? Because of the wrath of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate, and everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all of her plagues. Verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. So every nation that has thermonuclear weapons, every nation that has ICBMs, the Most High is going to put the spirit upon them to come up against America. And that includes the allies of America. You see? And what does the Most High command these nations to do? Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. You see that? So that's why all this is happening. This is why the Most High is gradually putting these pieces into place to fulfill his will. You see, to bring all these things to pass. This is what it's going to be. This is what it's leading up to. So we're going to watch as more division, as the Most High causes more division amongst Esau. You see? And we're just going to sit here and enjoy the fall of the final heathen empire, man. You see? So with that, man, I'll wrap it up right there. Because like I said, we go into these things all the time. And I'm pretty sure more bros will be doing videos on this. And more videos will be coming out in the near future on the same topic. So with that, man, I'm going to end it by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopefully let I get out there pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua has created us to do. With that, I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom, Wa Abba Babal.